There's a unique kind of madness that comes with wanting to cross an entire country in a perfectly straight line. It sounds simple enough on paper. Pick a line on the map. Start at one coast and walk, run, or crawl along that invisible path until you reach the other. But as anyone who's tried a GeoWizard challenge knows, the reality is far more brutal, unpredictable, and often hilarious. Today, we're diving into what it really takes to cross Costa Rica in a straight line, a feat inspired by the GeoWizard himself, a man who's made walking in straight lines across countries an art form of chaos, endurance, and sheer willpower. Costa Rica, on the surface, seems like the perfect candidate for this challenge. It's a narrow stretch of land connecting North and South America, flanked by the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Caribbean Sea on the other. At its narrowest point, it's just about 119 kilometers wide. That's roughly 74 miles. Sounds doable, right? But here's the twist: Costa Rica isn't just a tropical postcard of beaches and volcanoes. It's a labyrinth of dense jungles, steep mountain ranges, raging rivers, and unpredictable wildlife. And trying to cross it in a perfectly straight line, that's a different beast entirely. The first and perhaps most mind-bending part of this challenge is picking the line. On satellite maps, it feels almost too easy. You draw a ruler, straight line from a spot on the Caribbean coast to a point on the Pacific, cutting right across the country. But zoom in, and that innocent line slices through some of the harshest terrain imaginable. Protected rainforest reserves, towering mountain peaks, deep river valleys, and, let's not forget, private lands you have no legal right to cross. Suddenly, that straight line starts to look more like a bad idea wrapped in a dare. But let's say you commit. The first few kilometers might give you a false sense of confidence. You start at the Caribbean shore, feet in the water, feeling the excitement. The first stretch takes you through palm-lined villages and open farmland. Here, sticking to the line isn't too bad. You're ducking under fences, maybe chatting with a confused local farmer, wondering why anyone would willingly trudge through their cow pasture with a GPS in hand. But then the real challenge hits. Costa Rica's central highlands rise fast and unforgiving. What looked like gentle hills on Google Earth become steep, muddy inclines that seem to go on forever. The tropical heat turns every step into a test of endurance. The jungle thickens, visibility drops, and the concept of straight starts to blur in the face of cliffs, dense foliage, and impassable ravines. And yet, that's the whole point of the GeoWizard challenge. You don't deviate. If the line says climb, you climb. If it says cross a river, you cross. Detours are failure. Imagine this: you're hacking through thick rainforest with a machete in one hand and a GPS in the other, soaked in sweat, swatting away insects the size of your thumb. Every few meters, you check your position, only to realize you've drifted a few degrees off course. Backtrack, correct, move forward. It becomes a dance of frustration and discipline. And through it all, the jungle hums around you. Howler monkeys roar in the distance, unseen birds screech overhead, and somewhere, the soft hiss of a snake reminds you that Costa Rica's wildlife isn't always friendly. Let me ask you, how far would you push yourself for the sake of staying on a line nobody else can see? That's the heart of this challenge. It's not just physical, it's deeply psychological. And then there are the rivers. Costa Rica is laced with them, some shallow and gentle, others wide, fast, and completely uninviting. The line doesn't care. It cuts straight across. So you wade, swim, or build a makeshift raft, hoping your gear survives the crossing. More than once, participants have been forced to backtrack, not because they wanted to cheat the line, but because a river proved too dangerous even for the most stubborn adventurer. And with Costa Rica's frequent rains, rivers that seem manageable one hour can swell dangerously the next. Beyond nature's obstacles, there's the reality of human boundaries. Rural properties, fenced-off reserves, or even guarded private lands lie in your path. In some cases, you're left explaining your bizarre mission to a landowner who's never heard of the GeoWizard challenge and isn't thrilled about a stranger slicing through their backyard. Sometimes, a bit of charm, or a shared laugh about your insanity, opens doors. Other times, you're politely, or not so politely, shown the way out. And yet, the rule of the line remains. You must stick to it, whatever it takes. What's fascinating about crossing Costa Rica in this way is how it strips travel down to its rawest form. No tourist routes, No guidebooks, no curated experiences. It's just you, the land, and a mission that forces you into situations most visitors will never face. You sleep under the stars in places no one camps, drink from streams you find along the way, and rely on the unpredictable kindness of strangers when you stumble upon small communities. This isn't a vacation. It's a test of grit and curiosity. One of the defining moments for most straight-line challengers comes when they hit the mountains of the Central Cordillera. Here, the peaks rise over 3,000 meters, and the weather turns fierce without warning. The terrain shifts from steamy jungle to cold, misty highlands. If you're lucky, you hit this part during a rare clear spell, and get rewarded with views that stretch from coast to coast. If you're not, you slog through ankle-deep mud and freezing rain, your GPS blinking through the mist as you inch forward. This section can make or break the challenge. It's where determination gets tested against sheer physical limits. And yet, there are moments of pure magic. Stumbling upon hidden waterfalls deep in the jungle, cresting a ridge to see both the Caribbean and Pacific shimmering in the distance, or sharing a meal with a local family who welcomes you in without hesitation. These moments remind you why you started, why you're enduring the blisters, the exhaustion, the endless corrections on your GPS. Because in between the struggle, there's an undeniable thrill, a sense of doing something few would dare even to attempt. Let me throw this at you. What's the craziest challenge you've ever set for yourself? And how did it change you? Because that's the real question here. This isn't just about Costa Rica. It's about the universal urge to push boundaries, to see if you can defy the odds just because you believe you can. Eventually, after days or even weeks depending on pace, you reach the Pacific. Often it's not the sweeping, touristy beaches of postcards, but a rocky, remote stretch where the jungle meets the sea in a wild, untamed handshake. Standing there, toes in the surf, you realize the absurdity and beauty of the journey you've just taken. You didn't cross Costa Rica the easy way. You crossed it the impossible way. And somehow, that makes all the difference. The GeoWizard challenge is a testament to human stubbornness, creativity, and sheer curiosity. It turns a line on a map into a story of resilience, adventure, and unforgettable moments. And crossing Costa Rica in a straight line. It's not just another trek. It's a journey that throws everything at you: nature, weather, your own doubts, and asks, how bad do you want it? And here's the thing, you don't have to cross a country in a straight line to capture that spirit. It's about embracing challenges that pull you out of the ordinary, that make you look at a map or a goal and say, why not? Whether it's hiking a new trail, learning a new skill, or chasing an adventure that scares you a little, the heart of the GeoWizard challenge lies in every bold choice we make. If this story of crossing Costa Rica sparked something in you, stick around for our next video where we break down other epic straight-line challenges attempted around the world. From the wilderness of Greenland to the jungles of Southeast Asia, and how each one pushes the limits of human endurance and creativity. Because let's be honest, there's something irresistible about taking the straightest, hardest path and seeing what you're really made of.